I'm Nguyen Dinh Thang. I'm the Executive Director of BPSOS, or both People SOS. When I first joined it, I was a volunteer. And in 2001, I became its full-time Executive Director. BPSOS was founded in 1980. And for the first 10 years, its mission was to send a ship out to sea to the Gulf of Thailand to rescue the boat people, to protect them from pirate attacks, and to help resettle them to different countries, such as in the US, in France, Canada, Australia, so on and so forth. Starting in 1989, that's when I joined both People SOS. We focus on legal advocacy and policy advocacy, because at the time, many countries in Asia no longer recognize the Vietnamese boat people as refugees. They redefine them as illegal immigrants to be deported. So we launched the two advocacy fronts to rescue these people and defend their refugee rights. And we have successfully defended the rights of over 20,000 Vietnamese boat people to be recognized as refugees and resettled instead of being deported. Over the past decade, we have become a national organization with operation in 10 different locations in the US and 3 locations in Asia, including Taiwan, Malaysia, and Thailand. So nowadays, we are focusing on building leadership for the future of the community, on providing direct services to those in need, and also in advocating for policies that would influence and affect the welfare of Vietnamese Americans in this country. I see that Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Americans have a lot to contribute to this country. We have so many assets. We have so many experiences due to our historical background, due to our cultural heritage, to contribute to this country and strengthen this country. Many of us came from countries where political activism were not encouraged. And in some instances, such activism could land us in prison, for instance, like in Vietnam. So we grew up always reminded by parents not to be involved in politics. Therefore, we have carried that kind of mentality to this country, and we can no longer afford to be inactive, to stand on the sideline, because that will affect the future of our own children and grandchildren. This country is our country. We have to roll up our sleeves and get involved. Once Asian Americans, especially the younger ones, they feel like they want to be leaders, they want to be part of the solution, they need guidance, they need training, they need coaching, they need mentoring. And that's why it's so important and vital to this country that we have a special program targeting future Asian American leaders for our communities and also for America. LEAP is the most prominent organization specializing in developing leaders among Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. At both People SOS, or BPSOS for short, some of our top leaders and managers have been through LEAP training, and I could see a huge difference in them. They have picked up not only a mindset of leaders, but also the connections with other leaders through LEAP training, and also they have picked up the skills and competencies and the way of thinking as leaders, and that is very important. API leadership is very important on many fronts. First of all, many API communities are still struggling to survive and to adapt and to integrate into this country. For instance, the Cambodian community, the Vietnamese community, the Laotian community, the Burmese community. We are new arrivals in this country, so we are still struggling to be part of this country. And the leaders are the ones that will help make that happen. So we need more leaders in those newly arrived immigrant or refugee communities among the API communities overall. I never view myself as a leader per se, but I view myself as a problem solver. So in my definition of leadership, leading means problem solving. So when we are faced with a big problem that affects multiple people or communities, then looking for a solution to the problem, to me, is leadership. But all my life I have been a dreamer. I dream of changing the world, of making this place a better place for everyone else. And when I see a problem facing Vietnamese boat people, for instance, victims of human trafficking, for instance, then I would like to find a solution on how to deal with the situation, how to solve the problem for good. And that has led me step by step to finding my own way in how to address those endemic issues by mobilizing resources, by rallying people and addressing a big problem. And that is my way, my path to leadership. The favorite leadership quotation came from Francis Hessenbein, and that is, "To serve is to live." And that's very true. As we lead, a leader is a servant to others. And service gives significance and meaning to life. Without serving others, there's no meaning to what we are doing. So we have to always ask ourselves, what kind of difference are we making for people around us, for future generations, for society? I came to this country in '79 as a boat person, a refugee. I escaped from Vietnam that was already under communism at the age of 20. And I planned my own escape in 1978. And as a refugee living in a refugee camp, I realized that the two most core values of being a human are, one, liberty, and two, dignity. So that has been, so to speak, the North Star that guided me throughout my life. So when I see that there are problems or issues in life that affects other people's liberty and dignity, I have to take action. And that has always been my dream, and I've been living my dream so far.